So we just finished Gen 3, despite not really using a lot of Gen 3 Pokemon in Pokemon XD, don't mind me. We use what we can. So it is time to once again rate this Pokemon. Can we smash them, or do we pass? Are we powerful enough? Can we defeat them in single combat? Well, I'm alone, so I can't really do the double fights. Maybe with a friend, but I can't. Apparently we have Megas here, I'm gonna ignore them. So you might be thinking, what is going on with these tiers? Well, there's not about the spicy stuff. This is just about combat, because I'm an animal. I keep telling you, I'm actually a barbarian. Fighter? Wizard? No. So the first tiers pass. Maybe I will be able to defeat them, maybe I wouldn't. But I probably don't want to fight them, because I kinda like them. Unarmed, pretty self-explanatory. No weapons, just kick the baby. This is not Johto, so I don't think we're gonna see some men in this tier this time. Melee, any kind of melee weapon. You can think of the traditional stuff like sword, spears and such. It includes the use of a shield, but not armor. Ranged. I'm gonna sound like very ignorant here, and I do think I am really ignorant. Anything that you could use as a ranged weapon is a civilian. I guess to some extent that could include cannons, but I'm gonna say something that you can hold yourself normally. I don't really know too much about guns, so I will try to extrapolate. No smash means I don't think we'll be able to deal with this kind of enemy on my own. We might need military grade equipment, maybe even nukes. And how smash, it's gonna be filled with ghosts, because I don't know how you can defeat some of these creatures. Once again, I need to remind people, I think really highly of myself, and maybe I don't think I'm stronger than what I am. I will use somewhat the typings, somewhat the BSD, and somewhat the lore, but do not think too deep about this, and this is just time to have fun. So, the grass starter, is really impressive. Kick the baby. I mean, it's kinda fast. To be fair, it's kinda fast. The moves are not really that impressive. So, kick the baby. It evolves, Grovile. Maybe I'm biased because I played the Mystery Dungeon game, where this is a prominent character. It seems to be really fast. So I think it would be somewhat dangerous. Maybe with the shield, we can deal with this. And just fire the enemy and then stab them. This is Dark Souls, right? The Pocket Souls. Is that... Now we need to know. Is that an actual fun game? Is that a mod? Every hack Pocket Souls, hold up. We might be into something. What is going on here? Any of the EXP is directly converted to money? Interesting. Pokemon can only level up at the Poké Center by talking to the nurse and spending money on EXP. Conversion rate 1-to-1. Okay. When healing at a PC or fainting, all defeated trainers are reset. That's huge! I think that's actually really good for grinding. And then getting defeated by a trainer, all money will be lost. Can be acquired back by defeating the same trainer. What happens if you die twice in a row? I wonder if that is implemented. You're getting defeated by a wild Pokemon, all money will be lost. An item will spawn, and get to a location that can be picked up to gain back the lost amount. So generous. Instead of running in boots, granted from the start by default, the player gets a Potion Flask key item. It has 3 charges, it can be used to fully restore Pokemon in the party. These charges get replenished when healing at a PC. I think this actually makes the game easier. So how about when Grovyle evolves further? Sceptile. I kinda like Sceptile, I think the design is pretty cool. I think I like the idea. Sceptile is not that good. However, we're talking about in-game terms. It's pretty fast, and that Leaf Blade seems really dangerous. I don't want to get close. So I think, because it has low defenses, range makes sense. What about the Megas? We can deal with the Megas. Not here, not today. Torchic, just a chicken. Even though it's a fire type, I think we can just keep the baby. I think that's good enough. I think the starters are gonna be a little bit samey here. I think we can deal with combustion with melee weapons. Thanks to the shield, now might be rough. Maybe we may suffer against the double kick. Similar evolutions is not that powerful. Maybe we use a rich weapon. And blighting is actually really strong. I think it's fast enough. If it gets you, it's probably gonna mess you up. But it being a bird and all that, range weapons are probably good enough. barely good enough. If it was the Mega, absolutely not. And I think that's pretty much the same for the water starters. We haven't seen this in a while. Surprising. Okay, I think that makes sense. I'm a little bit apprehensive about having Mudkip here, because it's supposed to be some sort of axolotl, and I know they can be poisonous in real life. I don't think that's the case in game. So what about the dogs? I like them. I like the dogs, so I wouldn't want to fight them. I think this would be unarmed, and this would be probably melee. My name is probably way weaker than you think. Team Raticate's much stronger, and that's not because this is a special type. Even if it was physical, still kinda whatever. So we have the Goon. The Goon's kinda small. I kinda like the Goon, but not enough for it to be in pass. I think we can just kick the baby. Lightning though, Lightning is really strong. It's way stronger than you think. Balance Ram, Extreme Speed, it's actually quite scary. I don't think you wanna get close, I'm not even joking. Wurmple. You might be thinking, it's a bug, so you kick the baby. But it's a poison type, I do believe. If it's not a poison type, it has Poison Sting. Well, it's some protection. And then it gets stabbed. It's just for security reasons. I don't think the cocoons are weak enough to being unarmed. We have Beautifly and Dustox. I think both are gonna be in range. Not because they're really strong, but because they fly. You can probably get them with melee weapons, but they might try to be annoying and fly around and all that. You know what? Yeah, just range weapon. Probably anything works against them. It's a shotgun use, in my opinion. So yeah, Loto. I think it's an easy case of kicking the baby. Maybe some of these babies are actually weaker than expected. I mean, still Gen 3. If this was Gen 5, yeah, things would be more power craft. So not surprising. What about Lobry? It has some claws. I think we need a shield here just in case. And I think it's probably the same with Ludicolo. Ludicolo's pretty decent, but I think it's more chunky than dangerous. Doesn't have claws anymore. Water and Grass, I'm not really scared of those types. Not in direct combat. I think we can do melee. What about Sealed? Normally it would be kick the baby. This thing has Bite. I don't like the Bite and Blast. I'm gonna be melee, so we have some range and a shield, just to cover that. Probably the same with Nuzleaf. Not really that impressed. It's like a strange wooden goblin. Could be annoying with Crystal Leaf. We have a shield. I think it's fine. And Shiftry, pretty fast. Supposedly can control the winds, so I'm assuming it can fly. Probably dangerous, ranged at best. So we have the birds. The birds usually range because they fly. All of them. Don't mind me. I would say that Pelipper might be the easiest to get with a melee weapon, because it's kinda slow in comparison, so there's that. Now we're here and you might be thinking, oh, Rats and Kirlia, on Gardevoir it's gonna be passed because they are the waifus. I actually don't care. We're gonna keep the baby, and we're gonna keep the slightly taller baby. You might be thinking, wow, Kirlia? Unarmed? Are you sure? Have you seen the stats? They're surprisingly low. What about Gardevoir? She's really strong. We might need a ranged weapon. I do think psychic types, if they're too strong, it may be too difficult to deal with. Wait, doesn't this one control like black holes? Maybe that's actually no smash. She's gonna smash me, and not in the fun way. Oh, if they can control the power of the mind, 1v1 seems like ill-advised. What about the future side? She knows what you did last summer, and she knows what you're gonna do next summer. It's too late. And Surskit, small bag, not really impressed, unarmed. Muskrat can fly, so I'm gonna say ranged. I don't think it's that dangerous. I guess the Intimidate could lower our gun specs. We have Shroomish, small grass type. We're using a melee weapon. Do you wanna get completely undone by the Effect Spore? I don't. What about Breloom? Ranged at best. I only say this because it's not that fast. If this thing gets you, it's probably done. 125 base attack is really scary, Mag Punch is really scary, Sky Uppercut is really scary. Stung Spore could be your undoing. I'm not really that confident with this rating here. Could be a no smash, clearly. We have the Slackoff with Truant. Not really that impressed. I think we can defeat this unarmed, thanks to the Truant ability. What about Vigoroth? Stats are not that great, honestly, but those gloves are really scary. That slash is gonna be your undoing. Even with the shield, I wouldn't try it. I think it's gonna be ranged. Slacking, you might be thinking, oh, slacking is a joke. It also has truant. I'm not fighting King Kong, man. I'm not. It only gets slacked sometimes. Have you seen the stats? The correlated endurance like Hoenn and Lugia have 680 BST. This thing has 670. Pretty much the same. It doesn't act a lot, but when it does, it probably kills you in real life. Big Monkey, I'd rather not. Ninkada, it's actually more dangerous than it seems. Better attack than you would think. Stuff like Metal Claws, a little bit scary. I'm gonna say, give me the shield. Ninjask, gonna be real. I don't think you can smash this thing. It's flying, and it's really fast. And you know what happens then? It becomes even faster. You can probably destroy this with your ranged weapon. As long as you can hit. If you can hit, well, you're not winning. That's the main problem here. You might need some preparation, maybe some special terrain. Ash Ninja, it's a Ghost type. And even if it wasn't, how do you deal with Wonder Guard? But yeah, you would need a special kind of excerpt or something like that. Anyway, use Wonder Guard. A really scary situation. Wouldn't want to deal with it. I guess we could use like a flamethrower maybe. I don't know. Does the counter ranged? I guess maybe it does. Maybe because this thing is actually a bug type 2, we can deal with this with no smash. I don't think using individual will get access to the flamethrower. I think that's not really allowed. But you can probably win. You only need to deal 1 point of damage. Maybe it's actually ranged. Maybe it's actually smashable. You need shots that can deal fire damage. A single point of fire damage. Can we do that? I think that's reasonable. Maybe even melee with a torch. Do they count that as melee? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Wow, surprising. Okay, we had the Wismore line. Wismore line, not really that impressive. Small one, kick the baby, as usual. Loudred, gonna say melee with the shield. This sound can be really dangerous. Explode, despite those stats. Maybe ranged, I don't know. We don't really know about the sound power on this thing. It sounds can be heard over 6 miles away. Triggers out good with the tremors it creates by bellowing. Might be too much with ranged, but I think it can be done. Because of the stats being a little bit iffy. Like hit a fine type, you know, give me the shield. Small enough that we can deal with this. Hariyama, range. Because it's slow. It's gonna take a lot of bullets, because it has a massive HP. But I think it can be done. If the Gashi would fake out, it might be too late. Better disengage. Yeah, it's rural. Kick the baby. We don't really care. Nose pose. It has really high defenses. But if we use specific types of hammers in similar weapons, I think we can deal with this guy. The cats. Kinda want to say pass, but I don't really care too much about the cats. This is gonna be unarmed. The cat is actually kinda weak. You can get some mileage from the normalized ability of all things, which is pretty funny. But I think you're not better than melee. With the shield, it's just a cat. We have Sableye. Not as a ghost type, it's a dark type. Has no weaknesses. How do you defeat this thing? I'm not entirely sure. Mawile. That mouth is really scary. Don't wanna get close. But it's still steel type. I don't know if you would be able to deal enough damage with normal ranged weapons. You may need explosives for this one. We haven't seen no smash. Strange, I know. I think our armament being a similar position to that of Nosebus. It's small enough, it is weak enough, it's really tough. So you just hammer them. What about later on Yavron? I think they're too tough. I don't think you can deal with them, really. Yeah, Meditite. You know what? I like the Meditite line. No fight. I also don't want to deal with the pure power. It's really powerful. It's in the name. I also kind of like the dogs too. Imagine that. Colossal Minons. They're not as strong. They're more support trolls. Their electric types, which is a little bit scary. But I think a non-metallic shield could be enough to deal with these things. I've seen both the name is Illumise and Illumise. I'm not quite sure which is more correct. I hate these things. It's gonna be melee. Not because I need it, but because I love it. Just to smash them with your hammer. Blown to smithereens. I'm resilient. As we've seen, the special attack is pretty good. Can poison you. It's a bit small, so I think ranged weapons may be ill-advised. Potentially melee, because it's not fast enough. Goblin Salt. They are just blobs of poison. I'm not quite sure how you deal with those. Sharpedo and Gravana. I'm not assuming a lot of on mobility here, because most of them can fight and land. Yeah, mobility. I'm not really considering too much about mobility. I'm assuming they can move more or less normally in land. If I had to fight these things in water, I'd rather not. I think Gravana is actually pretty strong, so I kind of want the ranged weapon. I don't want to get close. And Sharpedo is actually really fast. It's really, really scary. It's gonna get you. And then what? Well, it's probably gonna jump you to death. Have you seen the base attack? Yeah, it's really high. Rather not deal with it. Whelmer and Wailord. There's not be that many Pokemon in this generation, huh? Kinda funny. There are many forms on these guys too. So I guess that kinda makes sense. Whelmer, I think it's weak enough that you can kill this as if we were Canadians with seals. Well, it's probably a little bit too big. We may need some help here. But it's also supposedly really light, so maybe it's actually on the weaker side. I kinda wonder. Nimble and Camerupt. Nimble, I kinda like Nimble. I think Nimble's okay. I think it's cool. Camerupt, we can deal with ranged. Can take a couple of hits, but it's not that fast. That Earthquake, a little bit scary. That Fire, a little bit scary. Maybe a bad idea. We're not fighting Spoink. I like Spoink. What about Grumpy? I think it's really ugly. Maybe Melee. It has a bunch of tricks, actually. It's a trickster of psychic Pokemon. Maybe no smash. Maybe we need help. Yeah, but Spin. The Spin is actually weak. Now it's really not impressed. Just kick the baby. Trapinch. It's kinda weak. It's kinda slow. But it has massive attack. I'm not getting close to that. Give me a ranged weapon, please. My round's probably gonna be ranged. Not that impressive, but it flies. Flygon. It's not insanely powerful, but in evolution of Vibrava. I think it's gonna be either range or no smash. Part of this thing along is actually quite scary. I'm gonna say no smash maybe. Cacturne. Give me a melee weapon, not to get close. Cacturne's a little bit too scary for that. Range I think is good enough. And these two fly. Superly ranged. There could be no smash, being a dragon having pretty decent defensive stats. Zangoose, I'm not getting close to that thing, man. Same with Survivor, absolutely not. That's really scary. Zangoose has actual stats, he has actual claws, he has actual moves. Like Crush Claw. Do you have a shield? Crushed. Probably you don't anymore. Don't wanna get close. I have a little thing in Solrock. Maybe you can smash them with a hammer, but they also kinda fly, they have psychic powers. I think now smash is the way to go. We need help here. Barwitch and Whiscash. Not really that impressive, but I think we need at least some sort of harpoon for Barwitch. Whiscash is not that impressive either. Wonder how Geodude works while in the water. I think Mill makes sense. Represent Crawdon, I think it's similar. But Crawdon is actually kinda good. So let's say ranged, just because of that. Baltoy, we're gonna probably smash the Baltoy with some sort of weapon. They have Levitate, but I don't think that's too bad for that. Clayton's kinda chunky, has psychic powers, maybe a range would be good. But it can't explode, so maybe we actually need help. Oh, a little bit Cradley. That's a good question, a little bit incredibly. They're pretty tanky. And they could probably have really nasty gimmicks. Gonna say ranged for this one. And maybe no smash for the next one, maybe too tanky. Maybe that makes sense. Anorith and Armadillo. I think it's a similar situation. Anorith is not really that dangerous. Has a couple of tricks here and there. But it may be a little bit tough. Maldu's actually kinda tough too. Pretty strong armor, high defense. Maybe Yolong, not enough. Because if it gets you, you're probably gonna suffer. A lot. Fifth and Milotic. Fifth is probably a case of kick the baby. There's nothing you can do. Milotic's probably really big, really tanky. Probably has some strings. That water might be a little bit too much. It doesn't know smash. Cast form, we're gonna count only the base form, because transforming with the water is a gimmick for the species. Kind of float, but I don't think it flies. I'm gonna say melee weapon just in case. Gek. We have Gek. Gek is really annoying. He has high special defense. Can change the type of the move you use. How does that work in real life? I'm not sure. But I think we can deal with this guy with melee weaponry. Oh, look at that, ghosts. No idea. Not against assist. Shame. If this was Mystic Dungeon's Keklian, yeah, no smash. That thing's gonna get you and it's gonna destroy your life. Tropius. It's a dinosaur, it flies. It's actually not that impressive. The threats are okay, it's a little bit defensive. I'm not really scared of Tropius. I think we can just range this thing. Chimco thinks melee. Stats are okay. Psychic moves might be a little bit dangerous, but in general I think we're okay. Have Absol, shoot on sight. Kinda fast, kinda strong. Always bring in disasters. Yeah. You shoot on sight, and we're probably good. Why not? Why not a tricky choice here? Maybe House Smash is appropriate. Not because I don't think we can defeat it, but because the idea is to defeat this thing without dying yourself. And that's a different idea, isn't it? With Destiny Bond, counter and all those moves, this becomes really rough, really fast. We have Snort, not that impressed. I'm gonna say metal weapon, it's probably hard ice. And probably range with Glalie, it's not really that impressive either, it's just whatever. 80 across the board. Spheal Light, we're not fighting Spheal. I like Spheal. The evolutions though, not really that impressed. But that sheer god is real scary. I'm gonna say range at best. That's because it doesn't have the best stats, not Celia. What about the Wolverine though? Maybe Wolverine in range being a little bit too prideful. You can see no smash. The sheer cold, if it gets you, you're dead. Kinda good Glam Pearl. Probably really hard, so I'm gonna say melee. Antelope Grievous, probably range weapons. Maybe it's just because of their environment. And Relegant, probably really tough. But I think melee is probably good enough. This thing can be set up a low disc, actually. You can probably just kick them with your hammer or something like that, and that's easy. Yeah, the Bagon line. With the shield, we can deal with the Bagon. Those headbutts, just power them, easy. Shelgon seems to be kinda slow, but I don't think the bolts are gonna bounce off. I think we can still deal with this guy. Salaman's though, real strong. This is a similar situation to the bottom line. The first one is weak enough. With the shield, just completely ruin takedown. We can just hammer this thing a little bit. I think that makes sense. What about my tag? Yeah, I think this is pretty much like the bottom line. They're good, really good upon evolution. In the meantime, the babies, you can probably deal with them. The middle forms, it depends really on how tanky they are. Which is cruel a little bit if you're steel type. Okay, we don't have much left on the list. And the rages. It's gonna be no smash. Your elemental titans. You can probably deal with them with a bunch of explosives though. So there's that. Atlantis and Latios. Dragons, pretty good. Also psychic types. I want to say no smash, but maybe have smash also makes sense. I think we can say no smash. It's kinda funny, they only have a single mega for both. Curious, they're actually different, okay? Even stat wise. Image didn't know, and have smash, now we're gonna have these things. They cancel the water and all that. So, I mean, sure, maybe throwing a nuke is enough, but we're talking about concept stuff here, the same with Rayquaza. And we're missing only Chirchi and Deoxys. I'm only gonna count normal Deoxys. Gonna see if it can transform, which makes it more powerful. It's just really strange, because it tries to give people lag as far as I know it. It's hard now if you would really fight this thing or not. How would you do it? I actually have no idea. I guess no smash makes sense too. Probably explosives, it's steel type. Maybe that wouldn't work. You have the Axis, which can just change forms, can have massive stats and all that. So I think House Smash also makes sense. It's also an alien, so it may be a little bit rough, a little bit difficult, but I think that makes sense. Okay, has the distribution. A little bit of pass. I think this is far less unarmed than usual, which is a bit rough. But some of these Pokemon start to become more and more optimized. And Gen 3 is also in Garbage Jam because Gen 2 had a billion babies and you just get the baby. It's that easy. Melee has I would say, a pretty good collection between melee and ranged. It feels strange how some of this you maybe think, okay, but how is this range and this melee? It probably has to do with movement. It's actually that simple. I have a bunch of nose matches in this is higher than usual. Some of these are actually pretty strong and they have pretty obvious gimmicks. And have a smash, bunch of ghost types. We had the resident grammar clone, perhaps. That's a little bit strange how to deal with this. You purify them, right? But I think you can do that on your own, and maybe that will not work. Bunch of ghosts, why not? And legendary stuff. So I'm actually kinda happy with this. It's been a while since we've done one with this. I'm actually getting stronger, can I deal with more and more Pokemon right now. Next time it's gonna be Gen 4. Don't know if that's gonna be during the anniversary. Maybe not. Don't think we're gonna be playing Gen 4 before that, but I'm not sure. We might start playing that before. I mean, until June we have a bunch of time anyway. I'm not saying you have to try this at home, okay? You can, but maybe you shouldn't. You can, but maybe you shouldn't, okay? Do not kick the actual baby in real life.